Okay, there we go.
Oh.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to People's Exhibit, the only show in the known universe where we don't pretend that we give a shit about your opinion. My name's Andrew Dars, and together, joining me today is a proud owner of dreadlocks and a beard, Ed Hicks.
Hello. It's actually much smaller than last time you saw me. I shaved for the
Damn.
first time in like 6 weeks. I think the last time I shaved was just before insomnia. So
Excellent.
there you go.
Excellent. If you had warned me, I would have presented you somehow, introduced you some other way, but too late now.
Well, I didn't want to steal the beginning of the show with a conversation about my bit.
Oh,
Oh, no.
my God. The song sings itself. So last few shows, which is just two other ones we've done, we opened by saying something about Kickstarter. So it almost feels
yeah.
like a tradition, and I thought,
It's like it kickstarts the show.
wow, it's way too early to the show for that.
Amazing.
So Ed, have you heard about a game called Reasonless?
No. Have you heard about a trailer for a game called Reasonless?
A little bit, just a tiny bit. All right, you want to tell us what this is?
All right, so I found this thing via Peter Molydeux's Twitter, Peter Molydeux being a parody account of Peter Molyneux, and he likes to post about revolutionary, interesting, innovative game ideas, but the parody account just takes that to the extreme, or things that are obviously bizarre and absurd, and this is no exception. So he posts this link to this Kickstarter, Reasonless, brackets, trailer financing. So what this is we want to start a game project and need your help to create the first trailer of the game. After that, we'll make the game. No word in this, at least brief description, whether they'll do a second Kickstarter when it comes to making the game, but I assume so if they couldn't get the €650 together to make a trailer. There's, as far as I can tell, no information about the game. Let's see. They say it's a horror.
Yeah.
With a platform Steam, and what with Greenlight existing, that seems pretty obvious. But also no assurance of quality, or there appears to be no kind of bar that they're trying to aim for at all. There's almost no information. It almost feels like a fake project. I have no idea if it's real or not.
They are from Germany, it says there, from Frankfurt. But what I like most about this is, well, for one thing, guys, if you really want to support this, you don't have much time left. It's 43 hours.
43 hours to go at stream time. So if you're watching this tomorrow, you've got the last day.
Probably way too late for, maybe have
They
a few
need
hours.
€640.
Where is John when you need him? Where is John?
No, they need to come up with some stretch goals to cover the other, 6.3 grand.
Well, I like most about this, besides the fact that it's almost financed. I mean, €640 isn't really that much in terms of Kickstarter money, right? Are the rewards. They're great. So there's three tiers. You can either pledge €10, €50, or 100. So if you pledge €10, you get a digital copy of the trailer.
That's amazing, because if they heard of Keepfid, if you really wanted to, you could have a digital copy of this trailer.
Absolutely, and that's what the one only person who pledged the money is getting currently, is getting a digital copy of the trailer. If you pledge €50, you get a digital copy of the trailer, just like in the previous tier, and you also get a wallpaper when available.
When available, in
You
brackets.
can't
I
get
love it. A $50 wallpaper or $40 value wallpaper.
No, that's more
that
than...
better be some good-ass wallpaper.
That's more than $50, I guess. I think it's like 50, yeah, like 55, 60, whatever. But I like that it's only gonna get it when it's available. No, you can't get it when it's not available, unfortunately, which is not the case most of the time. You usually get stuff when they're not available, but in this case, they're pretty strict. Pretty strict
old movies before they've been cast.
So. Oh yeah, absolutely. But if you pledge €100, I mean, shit gets real. Then you get the digital copy of the trailer. You get a wallpaper when available. Still, it has to be when available. But you get the digital copy of the trailer before official release of the said trailer.
So it's like an early access alpha
trailer. It says they have
video
alpha video trailer. So that's the game called Reasonless, which is quite a strange name, by the way. Unreasonable name to have, Anyway, speaking of bad news, Street Fighter 4 is having some trouble on PS4 because it's 4 and 4 and Ed
makes 16 frames of lag.
Exactly. Well played.
It's actually 8 frames of lag. But yeah, it was actually checked by what was it called? I saw this on Twitter, posted by Spooky, who's a big streamer in the East Coast of the US. It was from what they're called like display lag or something, or like it seems like it seems like a group that specifically look at technology in terms of response times, and they checked, and there appears to be 8 frames of input lag out of a 60 FPS game. Presumably it's locked to 60 on the PS4, and there's a whole host of other bugs as well. I'm seeing right now, and you're seeing it as well. Guile's invisible sonic boom, where the kind of primary effect, the kind of opaque color on top of the disturbance in the air, it just is not seeable. I mean, it looks kind of cool in a way, but that's obviously not what it's meant to look like. It's obviously a bug.
You could say it's more
and there's a whole bunch of other things.
You could say more realistic, because it's like you can't actually see color when you're throwing sound. So it's more like an airwave. Maybe there was not a bug. It was just wanted to like make Street Fighter finally rooted into reality.
That's it. Guile's been hanging out with Dawson, and he's been learning his ways. So this is obviously really embarrassing for games come out with bugs. Most games come out with bugs now. What with online patching, it's a bit more lax. The reason though that this is so bad is that the big move for Capcom with Street Fighter and Sony was to get it on PS4, with Street Fighter 5 on PS4 as well, and host this year's EVO, the biggest fighting game tournament that there is, with the target system being PS4. And you've got all these people, probably a bunch have already bought PS4s in preparation and have sticks, I imagine, that are kind of exclusive to that, although maybe there's backward compatibility, I haven't checked. But yeah, they're basically having to walk this back. It's pretty embarrassing. They're now saying that they're going to have to do EVO and Capcom Pro Tour using the 360. I mean, it's a smart move and it's the right move, and I'm glad they just went out there and did that, because otherwise you're left hanging in this situation where no one can play the official competitive version. But what mystifies me is how this could happen.
It's weird, yeah, isn't it? But why are they switching to 360 as opposed to, for example, PS3? I mean, is there reason?
I'm not super certain. I think it's because historically it's been 360.
Oh, right.
So it's less fucking around.
Is they kind of making a move for the Sony console now, aren't they? With the 5 not actually coming out.
5's going to be PlayStation 4. I can't remember if it's Xbox, but I feel like it's just PlayStation 4 and PC.
Yeah, I think it's not going to Xbox for some...
Yeah, so Xbox has got their Killer Instinct thing, which is supposedly also eventually maybe going to be PC, I think, after Season 3's done, but you may as well just discount it for now at least. And yeah, it looks like Capcom were going, crap, we need some money. Sony gave them the money and a good deal, and so this is meant to be the idea. But I believe the port to PS4 was farmed out to some random company that just dogged it completely.
Oh, right. So okay, I see how it is. And I guess they rolled up their lines and they just fucked off, maybe.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
The name of the company is Other Ocean, I believe.
Oh. See, that already...
Ever heard of them?
trickery in that name already. Other Ocean.
Trickery,
Which one? There's several. And they're gone, because you don't know which one... Yeah. It's the other one.
All connected. They just sailed off into oceans and seas and left us with 8 frames of input lag, invisible sonic booms, and other shit.
And it's especially easier now when the Arctic Passage is open during summer.
They were like, come on, Evo's coming up, come on. Yes!
And gone.
Sail away.
We got other...
Here's this ship port. I'm leaving port. Anyway.
We got other fighting game news as well. Guilty
better
Gear.
fighting game.
Yeah, Guilty Gear is and has another port to PC. And I hope to know and pronounce the name. But wait, it's Guilty. I can see it in the video. Accent Core Plus R.
Yeah, Guilty Gear XX Accent Core plus R, which as far as arcsys fighting game titles goes, is actually quite simple. There's like Under Night in Birth and Exurd and BlazBlue.
Oh, that's a different game.
Yeah,
yeah. They're supposed to the XR is supposed to be the first 3D game, right? And then this one is their last. The Core, Core Plus is the last 2D game in the Guilty Gear series, I believe, and
the Guilty Gear XX series.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Whereas Exurd is like, I guess XXX is in the third X. I think that's what they were going for, and so it's like, so there's a big kind of jump. So rather than it being patches on the XX system, which is what Accent Core Plus R is, Exurd is just kind of. It's the difference between like Street Fighter 3 and Street Fighter 4. I know I say that all the time, but it's like a jump such that they're different games rather than revisions of the same game. But it's the same series, whereas BlazBlue is a different series.
And it always has been a different series as well.
Yeah, yeah.
I wonder.
But yeah, it seems that they're bringing that to Steam with online co-op, online competitive multiplayer, which is good because we did have a little go on Guilty Gear XX. Guilty Gear X2 was the one that we got, I think, off GOG, and it was fun, but it was just local, just for messing around, really.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is a really nice development, and it seems that they're going to keep doing this, and so maybe at some point we will get Exurd on PC, and that would be amazing.
The X2 is also available on Steam, and I think it's like discounted now because this thing just was released, so you can actually play this and the other one. But I think the other one doesn't have online multiplayer. I think that's.
I don't think it does.
That's the deal, but this one does. And obviously, Guilty Gear is happening in the future, and another thing that may happen in the future is this thing, which is virtual technology combined with physical world to give you the video game experience of your lifetime of olive oil.
It's gonna feel so good.
Because they could do that. They could, essentially what we did here, apparently, and this doesn't really exist yet, as I understand, but...
Yeah, this is all concept, it seems.
Yeah, working towards it, and there's some goofy crap in that video.
Yeah.
Actually, all of it is goofy crap in that video. Yeah. And, but what they're doing is essentially they're building areas, so you can sort of feel your way around them, and every time you touch things, you also touch things in the game. Yeah. You can interact with... like panels, which are just a piece of wood in the real life, and there are super sci-fi crap that you press and hack through completing minigames in your virtual headset. And it's an interesting idea.
Yeah, I think so.
The one that I find weird a bit is where they make it rain and actually get wet. That you can see it right now.
Some of these ideas are really goofy.
Yeah.
And like, there's like definitely something there, and a lot of them you go, oh, maybe I could do this, I could do this game could be interesting. But with these kind of trailers, they need to cover what they think are maybe all the bases, some really speculative stuff. Like it looks kind of almost at the smell-o-vision level, where it's one of these totally like failed technologies.
Did that ever happen?
When smell-o-vision, that did briefly happen, and then people realized that in scenes where the hero was going through sewers, people got really uncomfortable because it smelled like shit.
Wait, I'm pretty sure there's a cinema in London that does smell-o-vision, or they did some experiments, like recently.
Really?
Yeah. They had like canisters of smell behind the screen, and they would release stuff.
I'm not down with that.
No, I don't. They've had. I know what I've seen also on Cartoon Network when I was a kid. They had this thing like you could buy a special magazine. And when you see a special symbol in the cartoon you're watching that like a specific day, you scratch it and you sniff that bit, and it smells like something in the cartoon.
That sounds super immersive.
Yeah. And then your fingers smell like all of that stuff because you've been scratching that for an entire day. So yeah, smell-o-vision is pretty intense, but not necessarily in a good way.
Yeah, Yeah, so that aspect I don't like. But I've always thought that the idea of making stuff a bit more physical would be cool, but I feel that VR just by itself, looking around a room and everyone looking at your Adam's apple as you look at the ceiling like a dickhead, is just a bit annoying and crap.
Yeah.
But I do feel like they have a go at the technology now, and we're actually in a place where we could do something with it. And there are some things that be cool. Like I've only been paintballing once, but I really enjoyed it. But there were a lot of like problems with it. I went Quasar a lot. It's like laser tag or whatever. And it's the British name for there was a British company that did it called Quasar, and that was really fun. But it didn't feel physical enough, even though it was in a space. And obviously, there's kind of a gap of there's a lot of potential in the gap. I think I'm interested to see where they go with it, but in a skeptical way because this trailer looked terrible. But it reminded me that I'd had these thoughts.
That's what I thought of as well. This looked like a very fancy laser tag. Did you go to play the Quasar thing in Trocadero?
No, there was a place in like Bromley. They had it.
Oh, right, okay. Because they had
I think it's still open.
No, in Trocadero or the Bromley?
No, Trocadero's gone, but I think the one in
gone.
Bromley is still open.
Yeah, they had it even like 3 or 4 years ago. It was still there, but I never enjoyed Razor Quest. I thought it was crap. And I've never done paintballing. Sounds like a good idea, but I never tried it. And laser quest.
Paintballing's fun if you get good visor, but I just got fogged up visor. And the thing is that everyone who runs it is usually a really fucked up ex-military person with like real problems.
Oh, God.
And then obviously you're all civilians, so they just like spit on you.
Right.
So if you can deal with that, I mean, maybe that was just the one I went to, but maybe they're not all like that.
Amazing marketing idea for a paintball place. It just says like blah 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 paintball blah blah, and then run by civilian.
That's great. He'll just be a cool guy.
Yeah, and they all go to the CV place. The CVs go to the CV place, and the military's people go to the other one. I think it'd be pretty exciting. Another thing I thought about the VR thing that would be cool is since your eyes are sort of in the virtual reality, you could have people cloak very easily, and then if you touch them, they could be like, "Oh God, what is this?" And like they uncloak as you touch them or something like that. It'd be pretty scary and exciting. But
That's pretty cool.
I don't know why I'm giving these free ideas. Like I should really just quickly copyright the idea of a cloaked guy in the Laser Quest.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Speaking of things that are not in the future, are in the present, race and racism.
Race and racism probably will never go away if the internet is anything to go by.
So, Al Jazeera, I believe, had the article about, or this is how I found out about it, about Rust.
Yeah, I think I got this through something else, but yeah, Al Jazeera is the one actually that people were linking to.
Yeah, so this is about the Rust developers assigning random race forever to the people who play Rust. And I guess not unexpectedly, there was a bit of an outrage of people not wanting to be a specific race, this one or that one. Before that, by the way, everyone was white.
Yep, nobody had a problem with it. Well, I mean,
bold.
The people complaining now didn't have a problem with it, rather.
Yeah, but now you can still be, I guess, white and bold, but you can also be black and bold, like the guy in the picture.
Mm-hmm. And a couple of other races. I think there's 4.
Yeah, I believe it's not just black and white. I believe it's and the things between. But I don't think you can be a woman in Rust.
Can you not?
I think you can't. I've never seen a video of Rust or image of Rust where someone was a female character. So I mean, one step at a time, right? It's already good.
Yeah, I think they're planning on adding that too. But yeah, I don't know. It doesn't say anywhere in this article, I think, about it. Anyway, somebody would have moaned about it, I would have thought as well.
And the comment that Al Jazeera made out of this was that the internet is not a post-racial utopia, though not that anyone suggested that it was.
Yeah. Well, people will occasionally suggest it. They're wrong, but people do say this. It's mostly a comment section thing.
Right.
Racism is over.
Oh, that's the racists who say that usually.
Yeah.
Okay.
But because racism is over to them, they will never acknowledge that.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's part of the stupidity.
They never had racism, so it's over because they always said it.
They'll point to their grandmother and be like, she's way racist, therefore I can't do anything racist. Also, I dated a racist. Wait, no. And then, so that...
How
the
can I
House
be
of Cards
racist if
falls.
I'm married to a racist? That's, I think, the best argument.
You know, I cut somebody off after we had a conversation like that. This is one of my many social snips. This guy. This is the quote. This is my favorite. Well, it was horrible. The whole situation was horrible, but at least the quote was funny. He goes, it started him saying, "I remembered her birthday well." He was referring to this Indian girlfriend he had. It was the 7th of July, 7/7, like the bombings in London. And I was like, what? And then,
What?
yeah, ended up being this huge argument. And he busted out I can't be racist. I fucked her, didn't I?
Excellent.
So, these people do exist in the real world, unfortunately.
And they play Rust. But this thing makes me want to play Rust, actually, because I think it's a really cool idea of having never changing whatever character type, I guess. So you can't. It's tied to your Steam ID. You can't.
Oh wait, so it's like fully locked? I thought it was locked per death.
No. That's the whole thing. So you
Oh
are.
wow, that's even cooler.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't think any other game really does that. In DayZ, you can switch, back and forth after you die, for example. But here, you're like, you're born, I don't know, whatever, Asian, and you're Asian. That's it. You're done. Unless you open a new Steam account and get a new game on that account, and then you could get unlucky and become Asian again if you don't like that, for example. I guess that would be pretty horrible for you. Because you spent you bought the game twice and you're still racist.
I have a great idea about this. They should go, all right. Some of you are upset about this. I tell you what. Post a video publicly saying, I want to reassign my race in Rust. And I'll change it for you.
Maybe they should apologize for being racist, and then they will consider, the same wording that John Smedley used. To even consider your request, please apologize to the world that you're racist.
I spend $260 in Rust on hats, and I'd really rather not be an Asian gentleman.
After that much amount of money. Speaking of bad things that happen in life, heard about Lizard Squad?
Yeah. So I never heard of Lizard Squad before this, so maybe you should take this one away.
I never heard about them before this either. I've just read up on them since this happened. So what happened is some kid in Canada, well, I say kid, I think, was it
17?
17, yeah, kid. Some kid in Canada got arrested because he was being a massive dick throughout and breaking the law to the left and right. Namely, he was harassing women who didn't want to be his friends in League of Legends. One of them apparently quit college because he kept swatting her, and she couldn't attend college anymore or something to similar nature. So it was pretty bad. And he claimed that he was from the Lizard Squad, which apparently is, the way media calls them, the Black Hat Hackers. So
okay.
The evil hackers, most of them seem to be very young, if this thing is a real thing, because, who can potentially check. I could claim I am from Lizard Squad, and, you can't prove I'm not, Ed. You can't. Try it. Can't do it.
I personally suspect that you are in Lizard Squad.
Yeah, I am from the Lizard Squad XX Ard. Anyway.
arcsys Lizard Squad coming to PC.
Elite hacker in 3D. They seem to, at some point, I guess because they're young and also, I guess, not very smart, even though they are hackers, they do something incredibly stupid. And so he live streamed himself swatting multiple people.
I can't think of a more foolish thing you could do in terms of self-preservation.
Yeah, so maybe he wanted to be stopped. Like he was.
This was a call for help.
Yeah.
His call for help was a call for help for somebody else in a hostage situation. That's terrible.
Some men just want to see themselves burn in prison, I guess.
Yeah. So he's going to be held on remand for 169 days, and then sentencing is on 29th of June.
Yeah. But interesting enough, so I looked up what else did these guys who all claim to be Lizard Squad have done, and they also claim that they did the infamous or famous attack on Sony Network on Christmas time was gone.
Oh.
And a whole bunch of high profile DDoS attacks, and but apparently there's no proof that they actually did it. So it's quite a weird situation with all this
I
strange
feel like if there's no
hacking.
proof of this, I don't understand. I guess I don't understand the concept of claiming to have done a crime, especially if you could get away with it. But I suppose at the same time, this culture, maybe this subculture is about boasting about shit you did, like Zero Cool from hackers back in the 90s.
But it's very similar to how terrorists claim stuff, right? No one
Yeah,
can
I was just
really
thinking that.
say yes or no. They'll be like, yeah, we blew it up.
The most
Uh,
embarrassing thing is if two groups claimed it at the same time.
Has that ever
You're like,
happened? Because it seems like it doesn't really happen that
it
much.
doesn't, but imagine that and how embarrassing it would be. Like everyone would just turn around and instead of being like, we have to fight them, we need more powers to fight, they'd be like, one of you two is full of shit. Come on, which one is it? It might be both of you. The real person who's done it is not even talking. That's what I would do. And not that I didn't.
It'd be fun if someone high profile did that, like, say, whatever, Al Qaeda and ISIS claim the same thing at the same time, and then they have a war and they forget about everything else and they have to, like, kill each other because they're so embarrassed. Not a bad scenario, per se. That could work out.
Sort of a win-win.
Yeah. Speaking of horrible things,
This could be any of the items.
Razer is come out with a new mouse pad.
This should be brief.
It's pretty brief. It's glowing.
Uh-huh.
It has 16.7 or something million colors.
All that means is that it's 8-bit. I hate when people fucking say, "Oh, there's can reproduce this many million colors." All that means is it's 256 times 256 times 256, aka your monitor.
It is, yeah, exactly. So, it has a special software. So it's not as if it wasn't bad enough that it glows.
Yeah.
It has special software that connects it to some special games who use the special software. And for example, imagine this. You're playing, what game would use this? I don't know, it's not Call of Duty, your favorite game. And your health is low, like this,
Yeah.
like this thing together with your mouse, Razer mouse, and your Razer keyboard could all be glowing red. And then when you're, like, you heal up or whatever, regen, because they have health regen in there. It's a great game. It just goes green or blue or something, like one of those colors that represent everything's cool.
Well, so something I was thinking about as you're describing the things it could do and the applications, it's like, why doesn't Razer get into smell-o-vision? So let's say you're running around in COD and someone empties an SMG into your guts. You should be able to smell like bile and shit. So I was thinking that you have something under your seat that shoots bile, shit, and dry ice into your mouth while you're playing COD.
One of those seats that all the streamers have, the one with the
Yeah, with the stupid thing
because
where
they
head,
even have
except he's got boxing gloves.
they even have things coming out of, like, sort of behind your head, so you might as well just install little valves there, or like little pipes, and they would just shoot smell into your face. Oh no, your radiator got hit and you're smelling antifreeze now.
Oh god, I want to see a bad stream layout screenshot of some guy squinting because their computer is vaping at them while they're trying to play.
Oh, that would be great, because you could, actually you don't have to smoke through the vaporizer or whatever it's called. You can smoke through your seat. Like, you press a button on a Razer pad, like your Razer mouse pad, and then the smoke comes out and it just goes, gaming. Don't mess with the gamers.
Don't mess with gamers. Maybe they have too much money.
Maybe that's what it should do. So it glows red. You press the button. It starts sort of like a quasar kind of smoke comes out, and you start inhaling. It senses that you're inhaling it, and it says, like, a loud voice in your room resonates, and it says, "Don't mess with gamers." Never go outside.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
I think it would be pretty cool.
I think we need it. I think I'm going to connect a klaxon to my Twitter so that every time someone posts on Twitter, it goes,
favorite. You received the favorite. By the way, I don't have a thing about this, but I can image about this. But another horrible thing that was going on today, and I was participating in it, but from a non-horrible perspective. was that EA are making the FIFA games, and obviously now that the FIFA
Oh.
scandal is happening, the most appropriate time to introduce the female national teams into their
Hmm.
game.
Hmm.
Still no corruption minigame, unfortunately, but maybe next year. So on the trailer, everyone was going super sexist because obviously everyone's unhappy that there will be girls now in a video game, which is obviously no place for them because, as people in the comments were stating, their place is in the kitchen with the sandwiches. If you imagine that it's true that all the women need to be in the kitchen, they might as well just fucking lock the door and eat all the sandwiches and starve the men, and then come out when they're dead. I think that would be
Also,
the
you
best
got to
idea.
imagine, right, like what the layout of a house would look like if half of humanity was in one room. Like, the kitchen would be much bigger. There'd have to be a bed in there. You'd
Yeah.
need a bathroom, but you kind of need two doors of separation between your bathroom and your cutting board. Otherwise, you get poop in your food, and you don't want that. It doesn't really make any sense. And
So
another thing that doesn't make any sense is that if you're going to make a sim game that's realistic, you put in events that are real, such as women's football. I've seen it on TV. They're definitely real. It'd be very expensive to make CG women just to trick me. Um, so you'd put that in your sim game for sports, and there's all kinds of terrible sports in there as well, like hockey and stuff. So it seems strange for people to be upset about this, but at the same time, it doesn't surprise me in the slightest.
yeah, they were upset, and the people were like, they're obviously they're saying, oh no, this is not sexism. We're upset because, and then the prevalent explanation was that because they're spending money on the wrong thing, they need to fix the bugs and shit that they have in the game.
I feel like on a list of things to fix, bugs was apparently there are no women in this game. It's a bit like the whole thing with Assassin's Creed. They recently fixed the bug of there being no women in their game.
Very expensive to fix, apparently, with
Yeah, it's
animated women.
quadruple the size of the team.
They're like those some of those fighting characters that like you don't know, they're so unpredictable, like the drunk kung fu thing where like you don't know where they, because you don't know where how a woman walks or moves. It's just like, and
They had to do a whole bunch of research because all these like plaid denim twats had no
yeah,
idea. They never
they need to
met.
have a separate CPU just to calculate women's movement. Otherwise, I mean, it
Yeah, and then
doesn't
like a quantum computer to understand their irrational brains.
exactly.
The art looks very nice, I have to say. The characters that they have put in there look pretty decent. Then again, I haven't looked at FIFA for a while, so maybe everyone looks good already. But like
Yeah,
they seem to have actually put some work in, which is nice.
I've heard that. Well, I've seen some pictures, also images, some of other sports games that came out like this year, last year, and they're pretty. They're getting there. They're like, they are the guys, the men and women who play sports,
That's
recognizable.
that's that's
Apparently.
about that's
That's
about all
about
we can say about it.
Yeah. They got like they kick a ball or something like that. Speaking of things that are getting fixed, Twitch is trying to fix things, and they announced a new thing that says that the only games you can play on Twitch are the ones that are not adults only. So everything else you can play. You can play your PG whatever rating, and you're up to 18 or M,
Yeah.
but you can't play anything that is adults only. The image you see on your screen is something someone posted into the chat, whatever the
So
comment
that's something that
section.
wouldn't count.
No, they were like, I reported this numerously and it's still going on. Is it because you're making money? Apparently, because it's not allowed to do suggestive clothes or to look or be naked or like have suggestive.
Suggestive clothes is very open to interpretation.
It is.
Though.
That's why they exactly why they framed it that way. Because, for example, this person. I'll explain what's going on in the picture. By the way, it's pretty interesting. So we know the phenomenon of the booby casters, the women who almost show their breasts while they're casting games on Twitch. There's more than one, and it is unfortunate. But in this case, now she was running a stream. I actually don't know her name, but I can, because the text is on the picture. I don't know if you can make it out, but. So essentially, if you gave her $10, like a donation, because obviously Twitch streamers are all about donating things left and right, she would write something that you picked. Like, for example, on her left breast it says Kappa. So someone paid $10 for her to write Kappa on her breast. So that, and you could pick like part of the body that you'd write something on. But again, apparently, as long as it's not adult only game, then it's all good. So It's an interesting angle, and it's an interesting when this is coming out, and it's coming out when Hatred is about to drop in 1st of June, I believe. And
Oh, so you feel like maybe it's like, oh God, there's this tidal
Yeah.
wave coming towards us. We need to run into a tall building.
yeah, exactly. And that was the comment that many people had as well. Oh, I guess you're afraid of Hatred and whatever media would say, or Twitch is, encouraging people to do stuff that you can do in Hatred, while
Yeah.
the booby casters are still there and you can write stuff on their body for $10.
Yeah.
Which is somewhat similar to just the whole porn industry of cam girls, but hey,
Yeah.
just
There's something very weird and gross about it. My reaction to paying to write stuff on somebody's body. I don't know. I'm definitely like pro sex worker, sex industry, etc. But for some reason, that made me feel really gross when I heard your description of it. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
So what I did next is I went to see what games are adult only. So I went to the ESRB website, and turns out there's 26 games in the world currently that
Damn.
received AO rating. There are not that many, and here is 24 of them. We're gonna start going through the covers, since I guess it's interesting to. It was interesting for me to find out what games received this. Most of the time, it's about sex. It's not really about violence.
Right.
As probably
Because
would be
you
expected.
get in a quagmire with the games that you currently have as mature, I guess.
Yeah, and there's one publisher or whatever developer that has like 5 games in there, and it's an absolute record. There was
Damn.
one that I was actually surprised by that was there, and I think that's the only one I played out of the entire bunch. So here we go.
San Andreas?
That's the one. So this is Playboy interactive screensaver, one of the few games on there. There's another Playboy title in there.
Hold on. Interactive screensaver. Surely as soon as you do anything, it goes away.
No, there are screensavers that you have to press a specific button for them to go away. I know this for a fact. I've had it like an aquarium one. There's also the Joy of Sex, which I think is a company game to a book, I believe.
Oh, I see. Right. Well, what do you do in it?
I think you explore different positions.
Okay.
So they got the rating straight in their face. Sorry for the pun. The next one there is one of the many erotic adventures. This one is Critical Point, where there are I assume naked anime girls. Again, just from judging from the cover and the general premise. I think there's a little bit of description. If you go to your ESRB app, there'll probably a link. If you're watching this on YouTube, there will be a link to the whole list of it.
Yeah, I'm just having a look at it now.
This is All Nude Cyber in the All Nude series by Mark Deddy. Mark Deddy is a proud owner of several erotic games, or actually pornographic. This is actually, I think, a interactive movie as opposed to a game. So a lot of the stuff it would be hard to even qualify as games, and it's
Right.
interesting. So this is another one. This is All Nude Glamour, about a different woman, I believe. That's her let's say adventure. In the world of erotic adventures, I think.
Oh.
There's 2 other games by McDaddy that I couldn't even find images for. They were so AO.
Too hot for the internet.
We got Wet the Sex Empire.
Wet.
This-
Colon. The sex. Oh, okay.
That's right,
Oh.
yeah. At least, in this case, I think it's an adventure game again. They at least went with the general convention of writing stupid titles for video games. Speaking of titles, this is my favorite title, Rihanna Rouge. It's pretty good. This is sex and violence adventure game that I think came out in the 90s. A lot of them are pretty not recent, so at least half of them I would say are maybe at least 10 years old. Here's another adventure game, and it has a very nice title, Body Language. So this is the proud company that Hatred is gonna join pretty soon. Hatred is not on there yet. I guess it's because it hasn't been released yet.
Is it not?
No,
On the Wikipedia thing, it is.
Yeah, Wikipedia apparently disagrees with that. And this is the last All Nude series. It got sort of shifted in our slideshow today for some reason. This is All Nude Nikki, another interactive, I believe, movie, because these things are sold on DVDs as opposed to CDs, so I'd assume it's something like that. So, like a full motion video
Yeah.
porn, essentially, but for some reason maybe they're actually trying to
Who
squeeze
did
it
the
through.
cover art?
I don't know.
Jesus.
This game never got published. This is the Thrill Kill, which probably many people have heard about. This was supposed to be extremely violent, and it was meant to come out on PlayStation. And it got cancelled, I think, because it couldn't go past the AO rating, and they were like, oh, fuck this, we're not even going to bother.
Yeah.
This one's the only one that has a happy person on the title, as opposed to a very tense-looking woman, which is called Exchange, and I think it's one of those just anime adventure, naked girls that look like too young for this. But at least someone put a happy face on the cover. I mean, this is like
Seems
already
like just having a gay old time.
Gay old time, yeah. Snowdrop, a very serious anime women are having a snow adventure in the snow mountains of Snowlandia. So that's one of those. And I think the next one is going to be a little bit more violent than this one, hopefully, because it's just been. Oh no! It's Water Closet. This this one is called actually Water Closet: The Forbidden Chamber. I call it again. This sounds exactly like some title that would come up after a long day of developing Galactose Intolerant.
Oh, this picture! That's brutal.
Actually, I forgot what this one is called. It's called something Check In, but I forgot what the name of that is. Let me actually look that up.
That's amazing.
What is this game? It's again an adventure game, but it has a very strange title. Something about checking. So anyway, it's about a witch who flies around half naked. This is by Deep Silver. This is Singles, a game about dating and with sexy bits in it. And it's, I believe, published by Ubisoft. So this was like some high-profile erotica here.
This looks a lot more Western.
Yeah,
this just looks like a phone game.
It does. I think it was before the phone games on it. So,
they had all these frustrated creative people who were like, I need some kind of medium to put out my vision. Shit phone games.
Leisure Suit Larry obviously made it there, but it's only one of them. And this one is where he goes to college to get a BA in TNA. Get it? Yeah. It's pretty depressing, this entire list. Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, for some reason, the only Grand Theft Auto. I think it got there because of the coffee house scene or coffee whatever scene.
The hot coffee mod.
Oh, whatever, yeah. Like there's some mod that reveals some erotic content somewhere.
Ish,
and and it's still stuck on that list. Fahrenheit. The director's cut is on here. So
they just like, this is too shit.
Possibly, yeah. No human should experience this unless they're an adult. So David Cage made it. He this is his greatest moment. He made it onto the AO list out of 26 games. This is sort of self-explanatory. Lula, 3D. There's a whole bunch of Lula games. One of them was the Sex Empire one, by the way. So this is when they finally made the technological leap to 3D, and their sexiness started happening in the 3D mode. Another Playboy game. This is the Playboy mention Private Party DLC. So that just the mention is fine, but in the DLC she gets real and it hits the AO rating.
So wait. So if you just get the mansion, it's just walking around the Playboy house, but nobody's there.
Could be. That would be pretty good.
That would be a pretty interesting concept.
I think
so. Hello, and you just feel shame, so you don't want to call out too loud, and you're like, Hugh? Hugh?
Manhunt 2, another high-profile game in there. Well, at least, I guess it's with a lot of sales. And it was actually banned for several years in UK outright. Like, you couldn't legally buy it at all, and then they dropped it. And in 2009, you could actually buy it now. But that has to do with more with extra sexual content there as well, but it has to do more with violence than sex, because there's just so many violent ways you can kill a man. Then we got Seduce Me, another adventure, and then I think this is the last one, which is F. Wait, what's the full name? It's called F, A Fairy Tale of the Two. So clearly they failed in the naming department, so I guess they had to compensate with some boobies in the game. And they probably do. I tried to choose all the kind of covers that wouldn't reveal too much, so that, because on Twitch you can't really do this now anymore.
That's true.
Yeah, and there's two games that I couldn't find. It's the Muck Daddy games that just have nothing on. Oh wait,
don't exist.
There was one Muck Daddy game I couldn't. Two Muck Daddy games I couldn't find, and one casino game that I couldn't find, which was strangely enough. And it's only one game that is there strictly for gambling. And I don't know how hard that gambling must have been, because like there's no images of it. It's like it never existed, but it got on the AO list of, I think it's called something casinos. Peak Entertainment Casinos. I don't know what they do in there, but it must be evil and unholy, because the game is nowhere to be found.
It disappeared from the universe. Yeah, a lot of this is creepy anime bullshit, it seems. But there seems to be more of that stuff coming over here and just kind of to the West in general. And I guess that list, I don't know if that's all old stuff and now they're kind of working their way around it. Because all this looks like, 97, whatever, 2005. Almost none of them are new. Eden plus Mosaic is new. Something from 2014. But most of these are like 04, 05, 97, 98. Weird. It's like there are waves of them trying to get dirtier and dirtier, and then they just get pushed back by the ESRB.
Maybe it took like several attempts for people to realize that they actually don't sell that well if this is the case. Like if they get the AO rate. I think that's why partially the hatred thing was a big deal, because they very rarely get the AO rating. I mean, you have to kind of try hard to actually...
They did try hard. They are tryhards.
Yeah, they pretty much went for it, like from the get-go. So it's interesting to see how that's going to go down, because it's about to come out, and I don't think anyone's ever played it yet. It's not like one of those games that had like beta and alpha. And
you know what's going to happen? There's going to be a lot of people who are, in positions like ours. Like, I could use a few more viewers, I guess. What I'll do is I'll get hatred and I'll play hatred on stream. I'll spend the whole time going, oh, this is terrible. Oh, this is awful. I can't believe that this game came out, that you can do this. This is awful.
Well, they can get banned if they do it on stream. They probably have to make a video out of it, like on YouTube, because...
oh, of course, yeah, you wouldn't be able to do it on Twitch. Yeah, you'd have to do it on other stuff. I wonder, I guess it's totally fine to put on YouTube, or what's YouTube's stance on all this kind of stuff?
They have, a lot of these games have videos on YouTube, ones that we listed here, so I guess YouTube is surprisingly more lax about this?
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, YouTube's like, we've got news footage and unofficial footage of like troops shooting people who are unarmed.
Oh yeah,
there's hatred.
Oh yeah, absolutely. There's stuff where like, the helicopter cams and whatever of killing civilians, and so that's
We've
there.
seen some shit, they'd probably say.
Yeah.
But yeah, it'd be interesting to know which services do which, and if there's a streaming service that pops up or already exists that goes, oh, you don't want, like Vimeo will go, oh, well, nobody really uses us except for like fucking trendy creative people who film something with their iPhone. Maybe we could get hatred streams.
Isn't there another streaming service? What is it called? Like Hitbox, Hotbox?
Yeah, Hitbox sounds like it.
Something like that.
There's a few. There are a few, but they're all quite...
Yeah. So I don't know. Yeah, well, I mean, everyone decided to sell it afterwards. There was, a whole bit where like the Steam removed it, and then everyone was like, oh, censorship, and then Steam put it back, and
I don't. I don't know. There's obviously the arguments to be made, but they're boring. I'm going to pretend I'm interested in free speech arguments. They're really boring because you're always having them with someone really annoying.
Yeah. I mean, someone. Yeah, absolutely. You wouldn't really be like, oh, hey, you're very
intelligent. Because, like, obviously the principle's great, but if your only defense for behavior is it's not technically illegal, you're probably being a shit.
But then being a shit isn't illegal, so.
Well, exactly, yeah. It just means that every time I have to talk to anyone about any of this shit, I'm talking to shits. And if I don't talk about this shit with shits, then lose some rights that you wanted to keep or whatever, or you get covered in shit from the shits. And it's just miserable. I'm just tired of this kind of shit. Thanks, hatred. You shit.
The last thing I want to say about this, it would be interesting for me. I mean, I understand the whole the other social, whatever, economic and political point, but it'd be interesting if it's actually fun to play. Like, as in, like, did they actually manage to get a game out of it, or it's just like walking to a street, here, innocent people, why don't you kill them? Or
I would be shocked if it is good.
Yeah, I know, absolutely. I would be shocked as well. But I mean, it'd be interesting.
It'd be funny or interesting or something. But I just feel like they're like, okay, we've got to make it big. let's focus all our energy on this controversy angle and just do that.
But it'd be funny if what it sinks it is not its controversy, but the bugs. You know what I mean? Like it comes
I
out.
fell through the universe.
Yeah.
I have hatred for this game.
It's just amazing. So, because everyone was defending it now as free speech, whatever, they can't enjoy it because it's so not ready to be
Oh,
made.
that would be pretty good. Actually, I wouldn't mind that at all.
That'd be pretty funny.
Oh boy, fucking games like that. And then the other one, the one where you shoot trans people for some reason.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, the one that got banned from Steam.
Yeah, Jim Sterling covered it. But he was doing that thing that I was saying, where you make a video and you go, "This is awful," where probably you shouldn't have made the video at all. Should just refuse to cover it. But I don't know, each their own, I guess. But anyway, yeah, that was a thing, and that was one of those ones where it's like, satire. No. This isn't hate speech or anything. I'm satirizing something.
That's the argument the devs made, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, how would you raise awareness if you don't talk about it, right? I mean, they say shitty game comes out.
Yeah.
And to make people aware that the shitty thing shouldn't exist and it's here, then you should probably make something about it, right? Isn't that the idea?
Yeah. It's just the way you handle the coverage is also important.
Yeah.
Beyond just the fact that you did cover it.
Don't sound fake while you're making a video, probably.
Don't sound fake. If something's super gross, people know before you start. And also, you don't need to probably indulge in it more than a couple of minutes if you really don't like it. You're not just running around going, "Oh, this is awful. I killed these guys in this way in this room. Oh, it's horrible. Oh, look at this. Oh, it's filthy. Oh, yeah." You don't.
Yeah.
Anyway,
that would make sense.
we'll just make sure that we don't do that.
I'm making a note now as we're discussing this.
This goes on the whiteboard. How do I put this into words?
Excellent. On that happy, disgusting note, I think we should bring our today's episode of People's Exhibit to a close. Hope you guys enjoyed it, especially the sexy bits and the disgusting bits in the end, because that's what you guys are here for, I guess. I mean, not the fighting game stuff in the very beginning, because...
Yeah, we just get over that bit quickly. Nobody wants to know, really.
To the meat of the show.
Yeah.
Anyway, hope you enjoyed it. If you enjoyed it and you're watching this on YouTube, you know what to do. And if you want to watch it live, there's a link in the description. And you know what to do there.
Yep. And you need to show up on Thursdays at 10 p.m.
10 p.m. BST, which is some people call GMT because they're wrong. Bye.
It's not.
It's not. Bye.